I'm Jim Smith, chairman of Webster Bank. I've lived in Connecticut my entire life. Like you, I love our state. It's beautiful. It has remarkable cultural resources, and it's filled with wonderful people, fascinating places, and things to do. But the prized quality of our life in Connecticut is in danger today because affordable housing is becoming scarce. Home prices have skyrocketed. Skilled workers, young people just starting out, and even the elderly are finding it very difficult, if not impossible, to find an appropriate home to buy or rent. If we don't increase the supply of affordable housing, our economy will suffer. Workers will leave Connecticut, and businesses will follow. I hate to say it, but it's happening now. And no business will come, stay, or expand here if it can't find the skilled workers it needs. Please take a moment now to learn more about the challenge we face and how we can overcome it. Everyone deserves a safe, secure, affordable place to live. Together, we can make sure they can have it.
Connecticut is a great place to live for those of us who can afford it. And that's no joke, because fewer and fewer of us will be able to afford to buy or rent a house in the beautiful state we call home. Think about this. The median home sales price in Connecticut is more than $300,000. Qualifying household income to buy a home like that is approximately $100,000. Yet there are engineers, school administrators, biologists, and many other professionals who don't make that much. So if you are a young college grad hoping to move back to this state to be close to the family, or you are a teacher who just landed a job in a well-to-do suburb, or you are a nurse, a news reporter, an auto mechanic, or a paramedic, the dream of owning a home or even renting an apartment you can afford in your hometown is probably beyond your reach.
You got purple. We would like to stay in Connecticut. Our families are in Connecticut. We'd like to raise our kids here. We like the school systems. We're both products of Connecticut schools.
Exactly.
I mean, it would take us quite a while, I think, to save up money for a down payment.
Quite a number of years just to afford a two-bedroom home, which if we have another child, that's not going to fit our needs anyway. Mid-200s are the asking prices of most homes out there. At 10%, who can afford $25,000 to save? I mean, if you're making 30 grand a year, 25,000 is almost your entire salary for an entire year.
I moved to Norwalk in 1969, and I bought a 3-bedroom ranch for $26,000. Today, someone cannot move to Norwalk and buy a 3-bedroom ranch for $260,000. So it affects people that want to buy up, young families that need another bedroom. If they sell their home in Norwalk, it's almost impossible for them to buy a bigger home in Norwalk.
My income is just covering the bare essentials, if that. And it's in the future, as the cost of living goes up and inflation comes into play, it really is going to leave me in a bad situation.
There aren't even words that can express a mother's love for their children. And when you're not sure of where you're going to be, where the next meal's coming from, the last thing you want to do is make them leave the town, their grandparents on both sides that are still living, and all the friends that they've developed through the years.
In the last 5 years, workers' wages in Connecticut have increased significantly. But housing costs have risen 3 times faster. This means that even while people's income is increasing, housing is moving further and further out of reach. Residents who have grown up in a town may no longer be able to afford to live there near friends, family, and community.
Stonington Borough has a tradition of Portuguese fishermen and the fishing fleet. We have the last commercial fishing fleet in the state, and they're not going to be able to live here. And my parents wouldn't be able to live here. They'd have to move out of town. And my children, when they get older, are going to have to find someplace else.
Connecticut's population of 20 to 34-year-olds has been steadily decreasing. The exodus causes a $130 million loss in state revenue, and businesses can't find skilled workers.
Housing has been a very critical factor in recruitment here. We've lost a lot of folks because they just cannot afford the housing costs associated with Connecticut right now.
If it costs a lot of a salary, a huge portion of a salary goes towards a home purchase, then there's less for everything else, and it makes that area less advantageous a place to live and work and for a company to nest.
We had a company look to move some engineers in from California coast, not the expensive part of the coast. The income was between $45,000 and $55,000. None of them took the job because none of them could take the job. Compared to the housing they had where they came from, they couldn't make the move, not one.
I would say 25 to 35% of our teachers do not live in Norwalk. They don't live in Fairfield County, they live outside of Fairfield County.
So the service workers, the teachers, the first responders aren't going to be able to live here, and they're going to look in other towns. And the ripple effect is that when they start looking in other towns to live, they're not going to work in Stonington either. They're going to look to work close to where they live.
An ample supply of housing is essential for Connecticut to keep jobs and maintain strong neighborhoods and families. But we simply have not been producing enough housing to keep up with the need. So the scarcity of housing drives up the price. In recent years, Connecticut has been 47th among the 50 states in housing production. We're simply not building enough homes for our children, our workers, our parents, and our families. Without affordable starter homes and rentals, our 20 to 34-year-olds, our young professionals, and our young couples will keep moving out of Connecticut. We can keep them here with more of today's affordable housing, which looks great and is well built and designed to blend well with each neighborhood's architecture, transportation system, and other resources. Even our aging but classically attractive existing stock can be restored to enhance neighborhoods and still remain affordable.
This is a 38-house subdivision. If you look through this subdivision right now, you can't tell the difference between a quote-unquote affordable house and a house that's market rate. These aren't people that are not working. These are people that are working primarily in the community where we built the houses.
There's 80 units here in Old Oak Village, 24 of which are part of the HOD program, and we are scattered throughout the entire development so that you're not segregated or stereotyped. My neighbor next door is an attorney. I live across the street from a teacher. It's very diverse, and it's been a wonderful environment thus far.
Affordable housing in the past weren't always the most attractive. The Old Farms Crossing in Avon has won an award because it was such an attractive building. And we have brand new housing developments in Avon selling from $400,000 to $600,000. I don't think anywhere near as attractive as this Old Farms Crossing.
Luis Moquette can live at Old Farms Crossing on a modest income earned at 2 jobs. Here he has found new opportunity for his family, unlike thousands of Connecticut families who are denied the same opportunity because the supply simply isn't there.
Before I was living in a 1-level apartment. Now I have a 2-level, it's come on some of the house, what you call it, a townhouse. I mean, pretty much American dream, living in a house with a picket fence around you. Neighbors are pretty much working class, just like myself. Same thing, working 8 to 5 jobs, having kids themselves. And I mean, they love it here. They take pride in what they have, and they just love the environment. The kids play with each other all the time here. The kids get along here very well. There's so many opportunities here for them to have a better life than they had before.
There's a need for affordable housing, and this is filling part of that void. We could use more, and I think the residents would like to see more, especially if it was built like the present Old Farms Crossing.
Affordable housing, built or restored in town centers, helps revitalize downtown areas, as it has in Norwich.
Affordable housing in a downtown area creates an opportunity for small businesses, creates an opportunity for shops. It creates an opportunity for economic gain. It has created a mixed-use downtown area.
The lack of affordable housing is not a problem that will disappear on its own. Municipalities, state policymakers, the business community, and developers must work together to create housing for residents at all income levels. To keep Connecticut the beautiful state we all love will take some work, but many communities are proving that it can be done.
I'd rather not move out of Danbury because I have a lot of friends who grew up in this area or have been here a long, long time. And we're all in the same boat where we feel that we would like to stay. We have friends here, we have families here, we've worked in town, we've served on commissions, and we've served as volunteers. And we feel that it's only fair that perhaps now that we need some help from the city or from someone that we should be able to get that help.
All of our family are here, our friends, everything that we know is in Connecticut.
We would like to stay in Connecticut. We could get into a home sooner in another state, I believe. There's a lot of places in the United States that have a better cost of living and houses are more inexpensive.
Economically, it may make better sense to go elsewhere.
We have our work cut out for us, but I'm optimistic because we know what we need. We know that affordable housing can be designed beautifully and functionally. We know it can be located in the right place and expand the municipal tax base while reducing sprawl. We know it doesn't hurt neighboring property values, and we know there is a strong market for it. Finally, we know that working together, we can meet this challenge. If municipal and state officials join hands with the business community, the academic and service sectors, and all of our other great institutions, we can find a way to make affordable housing available for our current and future citizens. In doing so, we will preserve Connecticut as a wonderful place to live and raise our families. Let's get together and make it happen.